You know, they say time is a thief. But sometimes when I close my eyes, I can still hear the clink of glass milk bottles on the front porch at 5 a.m. I can still smell the mix of gasoline and tobacco at the service station. You look at me now and see an old man, but in my mind, I'm still that kid in the red radio flyer wagon, thinking the world was as big as the sky. People today look at the 1950s like it's a movie set, poodle skirts and jukeboxes. It was a time when $1 felt like a heavy piece of metal in your pocket, and your neighbor's word was as good as a contract. Let me take you back, not to the history books, but to the life I actually lived. In 1950, the average American house cost about $7,400. And it wasn't a shoebox either. You got a full yard, real wood floors, and neighbors who knew your name. Today, that wouldn't cover the down payment on a used shed. In 1955, a gallon of gas cost 29 cents. That meant $5 filled your tank and left enough change for a Coke and a pack of gum. And you didn't pump it yourself. A young guy cleaned your windshield while calling you sir. The Chevy Bel Air hit the streets in '55, and it turned heads everywhere it went. Two-tone paint, chrome trim, V8 engine. It looked fast, just sitting still. Owning one wasn't just driving. It was showing the world you were doing all right. In 1952, Mr. Potato Head became the first toy ever advertised on television. Back then, you had to supply your own real potato. The plastic spud came later. Imagine handing a modern kid a raw potato and saying, "Here, play with this." In 1950, the U.S. population was just over 150 million, less than half of what it is today. Towns were smaller, streets were quieter, and you could actually recognize most of the faces at the grocery store. America felt big, but not too big. You didn't lock your doors in the 50s. Not because crime didn't exist, but because folks trusted each other. If someone knocked, you invited them in. If they didn't knock, it was probably your cousin bringing back your ladder. Nobody worried. Sunday dinner wasn't optional. The whole family showed up. Grandparents, cousins, the noisy uncle who told the same story every week. Roast beef, mashed potatoes, Jell-O mold no one liked, but everyone took a scoop of anyway. Drive-in theaters were at their peak in the 50s. You pulled up in your car, hooked the speaker onto your window, and watched a double feature under the stars. If you were lucky, the popcorn wasn't burnt. And maybe she held your hand. The TV dinner was invented in 1953. It came in a foil tray, cost 98 cents, and promised a full meal with 0 dishes. Families loved it, but no one called it processed food. Back then, it was just convenient and kind of exciting. In 1954, the first color TV went on sale, but they were expensive, about $1,000, which is nearly $10,000 today. Most folks stuck with black and white. And when someone in the neighborhood got a color set, half the block came over. The interstate highway system didn't exist until Eisenhower signed it into law in 1956. Before that, road trips were a real gamble. You needed paper maps, extra tires, and patience. And if your car broke down, hope you packed sandwiches. Elvis Presley released his first single, "That's All Right," in 1954. Back then, some folks thought his dancing was scandalous. Too much hip, not enough gospel. But for teenagers, he was electric. He shook up the whole country, one vinyl at a time. Milk came in glass bottles on your front step, delivered by the milkman in the early morning. You heard the clink of bottles and knew the day was starting. Mom let you peel the little paper lid off before breakfast if you were lucky. The average American family had one car, one TV, and one bathroom. And yet, somehow, everyone made it work. Siblings fought over the dial, and taking turns wasn't optional. It was just part of growing up.